Hello, this is Mrsurvivornet, and I am coming to you with Chapter 2 of the Army Survival Manual. Now, this chapter is all about the psychology of survival. Now, believe it or not, there are people who have been well trained in the arts of survival who, for whatever reason, do not manage to survive in those kinds of situations. And one of the large reasons that happens is because of the mental aspect of survival. You know, it's a very stressful situation. It is. And now that can be a good thing because, especially as I've learned recently, stress is an essential part of human life. If you don't have stress, you don't get out of the bed in the morning. It just won't happen. You know, you don't really have any motivation to do anything. Angel, quiet. Anyway, yes, so as I was saying, stress. If you don't have stress, you don't get out of bed in the morning. But if you have too much stress, then you start falling into negative patterns. You know, you start getting really depressed and start sleeping a lot and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it can be very detrimental to your psyche. And your psyche is very important to your survival because you need to be able to be calm. You need to be able to think about your situation, plan out your situation, as we discussed in the last chapter. And you can review that as time should be. Anyway, psychology of survival. Let's see some of the major pitfalls that happen as well. So we got through the stress part. Let's get to the pitfalls. Let's see, there's depression, there's anxiety over unknowns in the future, there are boredom, survivor's grief. These are kind of the big ones. Excuse me. Of course, hunger and fatigue, which I'm not experiencing any of right now because I'm not in a survival situation. But I'm planning for one in the event that I have to be in that situation. Now, so you really need to practice controlling your emotions in different situations. And you know, life will give you plenty of opportunities to do that. But you have to make sure that you're not blocking that by becoming overly aggressive or becoming overly depressed or letting your personal life problems get you down. You don't want to do that. That being said, it happens to everybody, so don't feel too bad about it if it does. Look, you can read through the manual, and it has even more information than I'm going to give you. But, yeah, the psychology of survival. It's very important that you maintain a survivor mindset that's a real bulldog of I want to survive, I'm going to survive, I'm going to do it, that kind of mindset, because that's the kind of mindset that'll get you up, will get you building a shelter, get you building a fire, get you hunting for food, get you worrying about water, get you worrying about these things, and then all of a sudden you're going to have your own little camp in the middle of the woods, and, you know, heck, it might be a pretty nice place to be, who knows, you know, I mean, there was one episode of Survivor Man, I don't know if you ever watched that show, yeah, I like that show a lot, where he was on a desert island, and he had a feast of coconuts and fish, and it was, you know, now, he had been alone for 7 days by himself, so I'm sure there were a lot of a lot of other emotions that I couldn't quite grasp in the situation, but there were certain parts of me that were envious of his situation, as right or wrong as that may be. You know, because there are lots of stresses in this world that we live in right now. Anyway, I'm not going to digress anymore. Psychology of survival. What other things are there? There's that. There's the... We have the negative emotions. I'm trying to remember what else is there in that chapter. You know, I mean, it really comes down to a very simple thing, and that is that you need to maintain a strong mindset. And you need to practice maintaining that strong mindset. And that's really all it comes down to. And you know what? I'm going to let it go from here. And if you like the video, great. And if you don't, whatever. I'm moving on. And I'm going to keep recording. So if you don't like this one, you might like the next one because I might not be drunk. Have a nice night.